Hello and welcome. I'm happy to see you all for the webinar today. Before we get into action, what really is employee engagement? Apart from all of the office parties and the team trips that we're well aware of, what does it actually entail? Now, if you're either a manager or a founder or even an employee, you know that every business is going to have some kind of financial goal that we're trying to hit or some kind of a target that we're all working towards. So, this can be both for businesses as a whole, teams, and also as individual contributors. We all have goals that we have to hit in this certain period of time. So, ultimately, we're all working part of this bigger picture that we're trying so hard to make it a reality, right? But along the way, some questions that you should ask yourself is your team just as invested in these goals as you are? Do they actually care about them? Do they enjoy working in your company, in your team? Do they feel acknowledged? Do they feel valued? Are they celebrated no matter how small or big that contribution is? So, if you ask similar questions along the way, you're going to realize more and more how important employee engagement is and how important and what role it plays to your organization's crucial health, overall health that it does. So, again, back to the question, what really is employee engagement? So, the essence or the core of it is basically when employees feel attached or they feel connected to the organization's mission or goals, so that they are more likely to wholeheartedly put in effort and time into the work that they're doing. So, to put it very simply, it's to genuinely create a fun environment where they like coming to work every day and they know that their presence or the work that they do leaves a solid impact. Now, it's definitely easier said than done. If you have like around 40, 50 to 100 to 10,000 employees, also scattered across different cities and countries, how do you make sure that everybody stays engaged and everybody, every single employee stays accounted for, they're celebrated, they feel valued? So, that is where automations come into play and creating custom tools so that all you have to do is create these internal tools and set it up, and once you schedule and you automate them, you don't have to worry about them anymore. So you let the custom tools and these automations let the heavy lifting do for in behalf of you, and you just have to let it play out and you can lean back and chill. In Zoho Cliq, you can build a lot of interesting apps and extensions which have a lot of features or components, as we call them. So, to kind of explain some of them very briefly, we have widgets. So, widgets are more of like the face of your application. So, any kind of data or any kind of information that you want to present, so you're going to need a widget for that. Now, there's also bots, or more commonly known as chatbots. So, those are going to be conversational interfaces where you ask the bot something and it's going to tell you back, or it's going to give you an output based on what you've asked it. So, that is also one case. A very commonly used use case is when you connect a bot or you use the bot to connect it using either internal events, subscribe to internal events inside the organization, or connect them to third party or any other external tool that you might have, so that you get all the alerts inside Click itself. So all of the communication that are also happening in other tools outside of Click, that also gets communicated to you inside this unified platform itself. Now there's also slash commands. So any kind of information or any workflow that you want to trigger right in any conversation without switching conversations or leaving, you can do it using a slash command itself. There's also message actions where you can turn any message into an actionable item. There's forms, any kind of data that you want to collect from your employee, or any thing that has to be inputted, you can use a form. And these data that you collect, you can store them in databases, or any kind of data that you want to store and analyze, you can have a database for it. There's also functions. So functions, any kind of functions are basically actions in very simple words. So what happens when you click on a button, or if you want to open a form, so all of that are functions. Any custom action that you want to define, you're going to need a function for it. So you can actually think of it as like the engine of your application. And there's also a lot more that you can deep dive into. There's REST APIs, there's webhook tokens, there's connections, which we will explain in a deeper sense in the upcoming webinars. But today we'll proceed to the agenda that we have for now. So today we'll be building two bots. The first one is going to be an icebreaker bot, which is basically to enable your employees to get to know each other a little bit, especially getting to know new employees a little bit more, make that process a little bit less awkward. Second is a celebration bot. So basically any celebration that or any occasion that you want to celebrate of an employee, the bot is going to help you do that. So we'll jump on to the first bot that we're going to build today. So the first bot is an icebreaker bot. This is basically to kind of skip that initial awkward phase that we all have when either we are new to a team or we're meeting a new person. So that there's that initial barrier of getting to know each other, right? So the bot is going to help you kind of bridge that gap, and it's going to suggest random questions or games or riddles or things like that, so that the conversation kind of flows in a more natural, more a friendly, fun way. So first, like any other problem or any other business or a product that you're set to create, first we'll create a plan on how we're going to build this bot for now. So the first thing is, what does it do? So like I just said, you're going to start an icebreaker with another person so that you post a question to them and they're going to answer it back. So that's going to be the basic outline of it. So for that, you're going to need a bot, obviously, so that the bot is going to be the medium or the carrier of this icebreaker message. So for that interface, you're going to need a bot. Second is, how do you start the icebreaker? So, for example, I am the one who's starting or initiating the icebreaker to you. Then I am going to choose who I want to start the icebreaker to. So, I'm going to input your name so that the bot knows that it's going to send the icebreaker to you. So, in that case, I'm going to need a form where I can collect this detail. Second, how will you answer it? So I've sent you the question. So you are going to get a notification where you'll have a button called answer. So if you click on that button, another form is going to populate where you type in your answer and you submit to answer the icebreaker. So for that, we're going to need a button action. And next, after you click on the button action, I am going to get notified that you finished answering. So for that, again, we are going to need a form function where what happens after you submit the form is defined. So to kind of put it in a summary, first we're going to need a bot. Second, a form is to be initiated from the bot where I define who the icebreaker is to be started with. So for that, I'm going to need a form. Once I submit that form, the notification is going to be sent to you. So once that is done, you're going to answer the icebreaker. For that to answer, you're going to use a button function. So you're going to get another form where you're going to input the answer and click submit, and which I'll get notified for that you finished answering the icebreaker. So this is basically the summary of it. So we'll continue creating. Now go on to your Zoho Cliq interface and click on your DP. So here you'll see the bots and tools section. So click on it. In the bots module, click on create bot. So you can name your bot anything that you want. I'm going to just name it very straightforwardly, and you can add a description. So and you can choose the access level. So I'm going to choose this organization because I want everybody in the organization to have this bot. You can also choose team if you want one single team or multiple teams to have access to this bot, or if it's just something that you're building out of your own, if you're just trying to experiment, then you can have it as personal. So you can also add in an image and a status. So just like how any user status is there saying that the user is available busy, the bot can also have a status. So you can just add in any custom text. So once you save bot, the bot is going to get created. Now all of these handlers that you see here are basically use. What a handler is that when a user tries to interact with a bot, what happens or what the bot is going to do is where you're going to define it here. So what is the bot going to do when a user subscribes to the bot is called the welcome handler. And what is the bot going to do when somebody messages in the bot is the message handler. What if somebody at mentions the bot's name? So similarly, you're going to define each and every event that you want to configure or make the bot to do that. So for the sake of this webinar, mostly we'll be focusing on the bot menu actions here, but we'll try adding a welcome handler first. So all of the code from both the bots that we're building today is going to be here. So you can either build it in your own pace or you can follow along with us as well. So first what you're going to do is you're going to create a welcome handler. So you can just copy paste this code over here and You can delete the default code and you can copy paste it and click save. So over here, as you can see, there's a message builder and a form builder. So this, since we're returning a message, you can go to the message builder and you can type in the content that you want, or you can add in images, you can have labels, you can have a table, so you can add in the components that you want, and you can also change themes. And you have to click on view deluge code, copy it and copy paste it here, and it's going to come. So it's very simple. I've already constructed a message card here, so we're going to use this now. So once you click save, so whenever a new user comes and talks to this bot, the welcome handler is going to get posted. So we'll experiment it once. So go to bots and tools, and I'm going to unsubscribe it for now. I'm going to subscribe back to it. So if you see, the welcome handler is triggered over here and the card is posted. So this is the card that we just constructed right now. So it's as simple as that. So any message that you want to post in any handler, all you have to do is construct the message using the message builder, and you can just copy paste the code and you're good to go. So the first bot menu action that we're going to do is to start the icebreaker. So I'm going to choose some icon. So you can choose an icon, you can change color of it, so you can customize it as much as you want. So I'm going to name it start, meaning start icebreaker. I'm also going to add a help bot menu action just in case any new user comes and they find it difficult to navigate through what this bot exactly does. I'm going to add a message card to illustrate what this bot can do. So you can click on edit code once you create the menus over here, and in the document you can copy paste the code over here. So the logic of this piece of code is that first you're going to get the current date and time so that you will want to start the icebreaker instantly. Second, you're going to return a form. So in the form, as you can see, the form's name is going to be start icebreaker, and one input field to choose the user you want to start the icebreaker with. So it's as simple as that. And on clicking on submit, a function is to be called. So if you click on start, as you can see, the form that we just constructed over here has been populated. So you choose a buddy, basically choose who you want to start the icebreaker with, and you click on start. So we've yet not defined this function, so we're going to do that just now. So if I click on start, it's going to say it doesn't exist, and that is what we're going to do right now. Let's also add a help message in case new users have subscribed to your bot and they don't know what this is actually about. So again, this is again some message that I've constructed using the message builder. So if I click on help, a message card is going to be shown to let you know what this bot exactly does. Now, these aren't really mandatory to add, but this is just like some nice practice when you're going to build any kind of tool, let it be a bot or a extension or a widget, let it be anything. It's nice to kind of guide your users onto what this tool is exactly about. So next, we will also try adding a mention handler. So mention, I'm going to use the same exact code that I used it in the start bot menu itself. So what a mention handler does is, instead of you going to the bot to start an icebreaker, you can just add mention the bot and the form is going to be populated. So same workflow, but just a different initial point of it. So we'll continue creating this function. So go to the functions tab over here and click on create function. Now add the function name that you had mapped to that specific form. You can also add a description. Again, you can customize the form name and the descriptions as you wish. And because this is a form function, you have to choose form and then you can save and create. So go on to the code, go on to the doc, and then you can copy paste the code over here and click save. So for meaning, if I'm going to start an icebreaker with you, you will get a random question. It can be either a question or a riddle or a game. So depending on that, you're going to answer that icebreaker. So for that random question to be populated, so every single time you get like a new question. So what we've done is we've created categories. So each category has a set of questions. So as you can see here, for example, if this is the first question that's going to be prompted to you, if I am sending you the icebreaker, we'll construct a message card with that specific question and we're going to post that. So the same thing we're going to follow for all of the other categories as well. So first one is getting to know each other category. Second is opinions and debates. Third is brain teasers. And fourth is photo upload. So photo upload, any kind of prompting the person to share a photo of your childhood, or share what you did this weekend, things like that. So once you've done defining the questions in each category, you can also, after you construct the message card for that specific category and the question, you then send that icebreaker, that constructed message, to the selected user. So here in the form, as you can see, you would have selected a user, so you're going to send that constructed message to that user. So once that is done, you're also going to post a temporary response as a confirmation in your own bot chat, just so that you know that it's been sent. So we'll try that now. You click start, choose any user, and you click start over here. So this is a consent pop-up for any tool that you're going to build. So the temporary message that you've configured over here has come here. We'll open Michelle's chat. So as you can see, a message has been posted over here, the icebreaker question that I've sent. So what Michelle has to do now is he'll answer the icebreaker and then I'll get a notification. So if I click on answer, nothing is going to happen yet because we're yet to define it. So let's do that now. So click on save and create another function to answer the icebreaker. So I'm going to name this as answer icebreaker only. And you can add a description. So this is going to be a button function. Once you click on the button, you're going to populate a field and then notify the user. So that button is what we're going to define now. You can save and edit code and copy paste. So here, as you can see, we're going to get the user's ID and name and then forward that information to the sender of the icebreaker. So depending on the question. So if you look at Michelle's chat, so this is the icebreaker that have been triggered just now. So this is the question that has been selected randomly. So this question is from the brain teasers category. So depending on which category that the question has been chosen from, we're going to generate a form based on that. And why we're doing this is basically because we have 4 different categories here. This is customizable by you, but this is just a general flow that we've worked upon. So if it's a photo upload category, you're going to need a file upload input. Or say if it's getting to know each other category, you're going to need a bigger text input so that they can explain more. Or say if it's just a brain teaser as this one, you're only going to need one field. So the form structure is going to change depending on which category and which question has been asked. Here, so you're going to generate a form based on the game type. So for getting to know each other category, we're going to return a form. And for opinions and debate, we're going to do another one. And same thing we're going to repeat for all of the other ones as well. Now, on how to create a form, again, this also you don't have to manually type it out. You can go to form builder over here and you just have to drop down fields. And once you do that for a specific field, you can configure the specific details over here. You can mention the placeholder, you can mention the character limit for each, and you can click on preview to see how it's going to look, and click on view code, copy this, and you can use the same over here. So again, creating messages and forms are as simple as that. You can use the builder for it. So once you've created the form and returned the form for the specific category, you're going to return it and send a notification to the sender. So if I click on answer, I'm going to add an answer for now. So that is it. So this form is going to be populated based on this one. So if I click on add answer, what is going to happen is what we're going to define right now. So next, what happens if I submit the form? So for that, we're going to create another function called add answer form function. So this is going to be a form function because it's going to ultimately define what happens after you submit that form. So you can save and create and copy paste this code over here and click save. So here what happens is after this form has been returned and you click on submit, first you're going to define all of the variables first and then get the chat details of the sender so that you can forward them that answer given by the recipient. And second, you're going to construct a message card. So here, because we have 4 categories and 3 among them are only textual games. So either I ask you a question and you're going to answer something. So those are textual. So for that, we're going to have a separate response card. So that is what we've defined here. But only in case of photo upload game of that category, we're going to attach, say, an image, so that message is going to look a little bit different. So that one we're defining over here. So once that is done, you're going to post an indication message saying that you have answered this icebreaker and this was your answer. So you click on save and click answer icebreaker and you add answer, and that is it. So this is the response that you've configured over here. So it's as simple as that. Now let's just try once more. So you click on start, choose a user that you want to start the icebreaker with, click start. A temporary message has been posted, and here Jasmine has gotten the icebreaker question. So here again, they can answer the icebreaker. So because I'm going to answer it for them, so I'm going to add in a mock answer for now, and they'll get a response like this. Now again, there's a lot more that you can add upon this. This is a very initial foundation that we've built. So you can add in a button here to kind of continue the same workflow again, or you can schedule these icebreakers to channels so that a large amount of people can come together and play. Or say to generate these questions, you can use AI. So there's a lot of other possibilities that you can work upon, you can add on to this, so that we're leaving it up to you. So you can build upon this existing code where you can have your own ideas come into life. So that is the first bot that we're done. So we'll go on to the second bot. So second bot is a celebration bot. So any kind of celebration that the employee has, be a birthday or a work anniversary or a wedding that they have, or any milestone both in terms of professional or personal lives, we're going to celebrate that for that colleague, employee, co-worker, whoever it might be. So first, what is this bot going to do? It's going to notify a celebration. It's going to post a celebration message or a post to that person during that occasion. So the bot is going to be the medium or the carrier of that message. So first, you're going to need a bot to do that. Second, how do you add the celebration? So to add a celebration, we're going to need some details. So one is, who are we trying to celebrate? So a user is needed for that. And when is the celebration happening? So the date and time is going to be needed. If you want to like add an additional note or like a personalized message, so that will also be needed. And what kind of occasion, so if it's a birthday, so that can also be defined. So from these details we're going to get and then post the celebration message. So for that we're going to need a form. This one is pretty simple, so this is all that it does. So we'll build that one out then. Go to bots and tools, create a new bot. Again, you can customize this to your own needs, and you're going to add a description. Something you're going to add in something. This time I just want it to be like a personal bot of mine. So make sure to check in the channel participation, because one workflow that we have in the celebration bot is that either you can instantly share a celebration or you can schedule it at a date or time or a date. So if you want to schedule or send that celebration message into a channel, you're going to need to have channel participation enabled. So make sure to have that one, and you can upload an image of your choice. So you can add in a status if you want and save and create the bot. So this time around, I'm not going to add. We do have the code for a welcome handler. You can add on that. But because we've already explored that, I'm not going to do it this time. So we'll jump straight into creating the bot menu action itself. So I'm going to add it as add celebration. You can choose a custom icon and an icon for it, a color for it, save menu. Again, it would be recommended that you create a help bot menu action as well, just so that they're familiar of what this bot does. So now go back to the document and copy paste the add celebration bot menu action code and click save. So here what we're going to do is we are returning a form to add the celebration. So if we click on the add celebration bot menu action, as you can see, a form has been populated over here. So first, who do you want to celebrate? So you select the user for that, and event date and time. So one nifty thing that you would have seen is that all the past date and the time would not be, like, users cannot select it. So we've added a key called filter, where only from the current date the user can choose, so that they don't by mistakenly add events or celebrate events that is in a past or date. So once that is done, the event type can be chosen. Here we've added our own custom general occasions. You can add in your own. If there's any inside celebrations that you already have, you can add those in, customize it according to your own team and organization. So once that is done, we also have type. So self reminder is just remind me, schedule a message in a specific channel that you want, or personally schedule a message in a one-to-one chat or a DM. So this is the form that we've constructed. Now, what happens after you submit and all of those workflows, we'll define it in some time. So this is the function that we're going to trigger once that form is submitted. So we'll move on to that. Now, before we move on to that just yet, you want to create a connection first. So the reason why you need a connection is that to schedule a message or to add a reminder, or for those kind of events, you need to connect to either Cliq's internal events, or if any workflow that you want, you will want to connect it to, say, you want a third party application that you want to integrate into Cliq, you will need a connection for it. So I've already created one, but basically to create an integration, you click on create, and today we're going to be using the Zoho OAuth connection here, the service. So you add in the connection name and you choose the scopes that you want. So here in the document, I have defined all of the scopes that we'll be needing for this specific bot. So you can define that just yet and click create and connect. So I've already created one already with all of the scopes ready over here. So yeah, so make sure that you create a connection before you create a form, because that connection name, again, you can customize the connection name as much as you want, but that is what you're going to be using throughout the function. So make sure that that's mapped correctly. Now go to the functions tab and create a function. So the first function, like we just saw, is going to be what happens after the celebration form is going to be submitted. So you can add description. This is going to be a form function, and click save and edit. So onto the document, so and click save. Now what happens, so kind of explaining this entire piece of code, is that first, depending on the occasion that the user chosen, so here as you can see, we've listed a lot of occasions, again customizable, totally up to you. So what we've done is just to make sure the message is a little bit more richer, it looks pretty basically, you're going to map a custom image, an image basically, to that occasion. So if it's a birthday, you're going to add in a banner for that, and specifically you're going to do that for all of the other occasions as well. So again, to add image to any message or any other component, please make sure that you host this specific image onto either, you can either use a publicly available image address, or you can host it using any image hosting or file hosting site, and copy paste the image URL over here. So I'm going to map each and every image to the specific occasion, and from the occasion that the user has selected, I'm going to extract that occasion and then map that variable over here. So I'm going to do that for all of the other occasions, so that each occasion is going to have an image banner attached to the message that's going to be posted. So I'm going to do that for all of the other occasions, and then we're going to get all the other details from the form as well. So first we'll extract the event date and time. From this data, we're going to extract the data. Next is who do you want to celebrate. From that field, we're going to get the user's information to whom the celebration message is going to be posted. Second, based on the type, we're going to determine some workflows over here. So as you can see, the first type is a self reminder, or something called remind myself. So two options we've added over here. One is to create a Cliq reminder. So if I choose remind myself, a Cliq reminder is going to be created where you can access it from the RHS of the Cliq module. I'll show it in a while. So for this, you're going to need a connection. So this is where the connection is going to come to use. So you're going to use the reminders API to create a reminder every single time a celebration is added via the form. So first you're going to create a Cliq reminder, or if you think that you want to create an event in Zoho Calendar instead, you can do that as well. So we've used the Zoho Calendar REST API to create an event every single time a celebration is added via the bot. So make sure that the connection name is mapped correctly over here. So again, this is optional. If you don't think that you need to create a Zoho Calendar event, you can skip this part. But this is just something nifty that you can still do. And so that is for remind myself. Now, if the preference is going to be scheduled message channel, you're going to construct a message where that. So first you're going to use the scheduled messages API. So as you can see here, you're going to schedule a message into that specific channel, which the user is going to choose over from here. So same thing, you're going to use a schedule messages API. So the same workflow is going to be used for a DM or a one-to-one chat as well. So only thing is that it's going to be, instead of a channel, it's going to be scheduled to a user's chat. So once the types or the preference workflows are defined, you're going to construct the message that has to be either sent instantly or scheduled, and the message is going to be sent. Now you can click on add and it's going to work. But one small detail that we're missing, if you would have noticed, is that when I click on schedule message in channel, ultimately you want to choose the channel from here as well. So for that, we are going to add a form change handler. So this is what happens when you click on submit, click on the submit button or the add button over from the form. That is this workflow. Now what is going to happen when you have a change handler? So change handler is basically, so as you can see here, depending on an option that I choose over a subfield contextual to the previous option that I've chosen is going to get populated. So onto the document, you're going to copy paste this code and save. So as you can see over here, the first is if the medium is chosen as channel. So if I choose over here, the field has been populated where the user can choose from the list of channels available in that department or in the organization. And you can also add a note as well. So this is what we've configured over here, is that if the type chosen is channel, add the channel, choose that input, and also a multi-line input to add a note. Now another case that would be there is when you switch options. So from this, I switch on to personal schedule message. You can see a field has been removed from here. So that also you have to configure, saying that if in case the user is going to switch over an option, you will have to delete that specific input as well. Now there's also an option, there's also a case where from schedule messages channel, I switch on to self reminder where all of the fields are removed now. So that also has to be defined here. So it removes all of the other fields over from here as well. You click add and you will be done now. So we'll test it out. So click on the add celebration button, choose the person who you want to celebrate, and choose the event date, the event type as well. And for now, I'm going to test out the self reminder, or okay, I'm going to do one-to-one chat. I'm going to add a note here and add. So as you can see, a temporary message has been posted. Now on to dance. So as you can see, a scheduled message has been posted in Dan's one-to-one chat. On 18th April, this is going to be sent to Dan with the note and with the banner that we've added over here. So that is for one-to-one chat. Now let's try the same thing for a channel as well. So I'm going to celebrate Michelle on 19th for a work anniversary. So I'm going to choose the channel which I want to celebrate. I'm going to choose shared moments over here. And then I'm going to create a note as well and click on add. So you will get a temporary message over here And if you go on to the channel, you will have a schedule. So this is an already a scheduled message that I've already done. But as you can see, this is been scheduled for tomorrow, and the note that I've added and everything is coming here over here. So the banner that I've added also has been attached. Now we'll try for self reminder as well. So you add on the event date and time and choose self reminder and add. So as you can see over here, there's a reminders module. So if you click on reminder, as you can see, an engagement event or an occasion has been added into my own Click reminder, and this will remind me once the event has come over here. Now another workflow that we've added, if you remember, is in Zoho calendar. So as you can see, the event for engagement for Alfred has been created as a Zoho calendar event as well. And I'll be notified 15 minutes before this event is going to be triggered. So if you look at the code over here, yeah. So if you look at over here, when I'm creating a Zoho calendar event, I've mentioned that 15 minutes before the event, send me a notification pop-up so that I'm reminded a little bit beforehand as well. So that is where the pop-up notification is going to come into play. So yeah, so you've created two bots. Now again, this is a very basic workflow which we're requesting that you build upon this. You can have newer features, you can have your own ideas come into play and build upon the existing code that we've provided. So, the essence of employee engagement is basically where you genuinely care for your employees and you become a mentor for them, you coach them, and you make them realize that their contributions, no matter how big or small, is worthy enough to be celebrated. Make sure that you congratulate them often so that they know that their presence and the work that they do is meaningful along the way. And the most important thing is collaboration. So collaboration shouldn't have any boundaries or any kind of barrier in between. So Zoho Cliq lets you do just that. So no matter what kind of work setting you're from, let it be remote work, hybrid, or if you're only office based, Click has a way for all of them. So let it be calls and meetings, sending messages via channels. You can have even more structured conversations using threads. And say you have a larger event that you want to broadcast to the entire organization, we also have live events where you can again broadcast the entire event both to people who are distributed, not in office, remote, so everybody can watch it together. Apart from messages, you also have audio messages that you can send, video clips that you can send over as well. And there's a lot of other features that Zoho Click offers where each and every problem that you have, we have a solution for it. You can contextually manage tasks and collaborate on them inside Click itself. Apart from the custom tools and automations that you can build, not only for employee engagement, but even beyond, any business process or any business workflow that you would like to automate, that also is possible. So most workflows, most processes that you're looking to kind of unify it inside one single platform, developer platform helps you do just that. Now we also have some ready-made tools available in our marketplace, so you can just choose any app from this and you can just install, connect to that service, and you can start using them right away. So we have polls, we have anonymous polls, we have a lot of other applications as well. You can just install to your organization or your team and you can start using them straight away.